Hola, so in this lesson we're going to learn how to conjugate ER ending verbs and IR ending verbs. We already learned how to conjugate AR ending verbs and the steps are the exact same. These just have different endings for the subjects. So remember from our AR ending verb conjugations, we have only two steps into conjugating verbs. Step 1, drop the ending. So that's dropping the ER, IR, ending. Step 2, add the ending based on the subject. So that's your yo, tú, él, ella, usted, all of those subjects that is performing the action. Just 2 steps. For your ER verbs, your endings are o. Notice o stays the same for all 3. So this one's kind of the easiest one to remember because yo ends in o and the ending will always be o. Then for ER, you have es, hemos, eis, en. For IR, notice, these are almost exactly identical. You have o, es, here it changes, imos, is, en. So that's why the ER, IR ending verbs are kind of easy and why we lump them together most of the time, because they have the same exact endings except for these 2 forms, the nosotros and the vosotros are the only 2 forms that are different. And they're quite easy to remember because if you look, the ER ending verbs, ER, so that's easy, right? The ER ends in E, or starts with E. Hemos, eis. IR, you have your I, have the imos, is. So they have the I there. So just these 2 forms here that are going to be different. And I'll show you here. Yep, so here you have all the same endings. O, es, hemos, eis, en. Hemos and eis are your 2 for the ER. O, es, imos, is, en. Imos and is are the only difference. So these you can pretty much just memorize one chart, and then just remember that for the we and the you plural formal, there's going to be a difference in that first letter there based on which one you're working with. So if you're working with the IR, you have the I to begin it. If you're working with the ER, then you have the E to begin it. And this is just ER, IR. All right, let's start with an example. Comer you're going to be using it a lot. It means to eat. Remember, it ends in ER, which means it's in the infinitive. Infinitive is to do something, right? So this one means to eat. Okay, so step number 1, drop the ending. Your ending is ER, so we get rid of that. So now we're left with COM. This is our stem. Just like with AR, whatever you're left with after you drop the AR, ER, IR, that's going to be your stem. And now you have to add something here to match whatever subject is eating. So, for example, por ejemplo, if we want to say we eat, we have to figure out what we're going to use for we, and then how to conjugate comer to fit we. So we know we have COM, we have our stem, so we've done step 1. Now we have to add the ending based on the subject. Remember, comer is an ER ending verb. And remember, with ER, IR, what are the only 2 forms that are different? Nosotros and vosotros, right? So let's take a look. We becomes nosotros. Remember, it's the os and not the as because we don't know who's in this group. And so if we don't know who's in the group, we must assume that it's masculine. So we have nosotros. So now we have our subject. Okay, well that's one of the verbs that, or one of the subjects that changes, right? For between the ER and IR. All right, so we know that. Now we also know that this ends in ER. So there's an E here. That's our clue to then tell us what the mos is going to have in front of it, right? Ends in E, so we're going to have the hemos. Here's our little chart to remind us of the ER. We have the OS, hemos, eis, en. So we have the we part. Now we have to add our ending based on that. And we look over here for the nosotros, it's the hemos. So now we have we, nosotros, eat, comemos. So our full sentence is nosotros comemos. We eat. But now the eat matches we. And in Espanol, again, the beauty of conjugating verbs, we don't have to put the subject every time because it's implied in our verb conjugation. Anytime you say comemos, everyone knows you're saying we eat. You don't have to put the we here or nosotros because it's implied in the conjugation. All right, so let's go through our kind of chant to remember these. Remember, we're memorizing them in order. That way that helps us when we get to our charts, so we know exactly what order they're going to be in. So again, the first time I will say them. The second time you say them with me. And the third time you say them on your own. Okay, so let's go through these. O, es, hemos, oímos, eis, oís, en. So now this time you say them with me. O, es, hemos, oímos, eis, oís, and en. So now the last time you do it on your own. Okay, let's review what we learned. So our steps are the exact same for any time we're conjugating any verb. 1, you drop the ending. So it's dropping the ER, IR, or if you had an AR, dropping that off the ending. Then step 2 is to add the ending based on the subject. And remember, that's these. These are your subjects. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. So based on that, you're going to add whatever ending is in that box for that chart. And remember, with ER and IR, they are the exact same in every form, except for the nosotros and vosotros, right? And the easy way to remember that is they're going to have a different first letter to their ending